Welcome again to The Resource. This is Mary Lou Bigelow, and today we're going to speak with Aaron Roy of SERVPRO. So good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about how you got involved with the company.
Great question. I did not choose SERVPRO. SERVPRO chose me. I'm a product of the pandemic. I owned an entertainment company. For 8 years, we did music marketing, talent buying. I managed a band. And then for the second half of that 8 years, I was a professional talent buyer at the Middle East nightclub in Cambridge, a sort of iconic, historic rock club, which was awesome, passion project of mine, but obviously in March of 2020, that all ended abruptly. So when I was reworking my resume to not be music-oriented, because there were no music industry jobs available through 2020, most of my skill set fell into sales and marketing. So after applying to 450 jobs through 2020, I finally landed an interview with SERVPRO. It was right place at the right time. I applied on Wednesday, interviewed on Friday. They offered me the job on Saturday to start on Monday. So it was really just a timing thing. I didn't really know much about SERVPRO. And that was 3 years ago, this February. And it's been a perfect match. And I've climbed and excelled, and I love it, and I'm not going anywhere.
Well, you have such a wonderful personality.
Thank you.
And the one time I did call you recently, and you helped me, which was great, steered me in the right direction. But basically, when I think of SERVPRO, I think of floods, and you come in and take care of it. But I'm sure there are a lot of things that you do. So tell us a little bit about SERVPRO and why the company is so important. I mean, when you think of disasters, you think of SERVPRO.
Oh, I'm happy to hear that. Most of the business is water damage, right? So you thinking floods makes sense. 80% of homeowner insurance claims are water damage. We're a company that services those claims. So any type of flooding, obviously the weather that we had recently with the rain and the snow and the high water table, a lot of flooded basements. But another thing that happens with water damage is mold. So mold is another big service line, very common in the Northeast, just with the weather, old houses, old basements, old attics. I'm sure you've seen it quite a bit in your real estate career. And then the third sort of pillar is fire, smoke, soot, and that stems into sort of all these different specialty cleaning services. So your clothes smell like a fire after you go to like a bonfire.
Right.
Same thing with a house fire, but it's even worse. Mm-hmm. So we have all these deodorization techniques, which that brings us into the real estate world. If someone was a smoker or they had pets, we can help deodorize that house so they can still make the sale. And then in the senior world, because I know you have your senior real estate designation, that stems into hoarders, biohazard, deep cleaning, getting a house that is in disarray ready for sale.
Do you have any fun stories to tell?
I do, yeah. One story that I love to tell is 2 years ago around this time of year, it was a cold snap like we get in the winter, and there was a realtor who went to do an open house for a home in Brighton, and she went to open the door, and she couldn't. The door was frozen shut. The house was unoccupied. 3 stories, owners lived in New Hampshire, so no one was there to catch the pipe break on the 3rd floor.
Oh.
And it went down through the whole house. Anything that could break broke. Toilets popped, sinks popped, pipes popped everywhere, and it froze this entire building solid. So obviously she's panicking. She's about to do an open house and she can't. She called me. We had temporary power, temporary heat, electrician, plumber, all to fix everything, stabilize. Then we dried it, cleaned it, sanitized it, put it back together, and she sold it 2 weeks later.
That's wonderful. So you have plumbers at your disposal, and you have other team members that you bring in?
Correct.
They're not part of SERVPRO, but just other professionals that you bring in.
Correct, yeah. So any of the mitigation, we have technicians that work for us. We don't sub that out. Other companies do. Our labor force is all internal, but when you get into the trades, They don't all have master electrician license, master plumber license. So yes, we have relationships with all sorts of trades and vendors. We basically act as a general contractor. So you make one phone call and we take over from there. And whatever is involved with the project, we'll bring in a vendor, subcontractor, whatever.
That is so important. I didn't realize that. So
Yeah.
see, I learned something. That's great.
Good, I did my job.
Because otherwise you think, oh, how will I get a plumber? How will I get, these different trades? And just one call does it all.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes, I love that.
Hey,
I might steal that from you.
that's perfect. Is there anything else? Is there another story that you might have that comes to mind? Or
Sure. Did you know about the Cafe Nero fire at Assembly Row a couple summers ago?
Oh,
It was pretty high profile. It was on the
Yeah.
news. We restored that Cafe Nero. So that was a pretty large scale project for us. We've done the Meadowbrook School in Weston. That's a pretty cool story. They put in a new air handler on the roof of the gymnasium and it caught on fire. So the fire department did what they did best and they doused it in water. So this was a gymnasium at a private school in Weston, so it was very nice in the middle of basketball season. So we were told, you need to save the hardwood floor of the basketball
yes,
court.
yes.
Okay, so we brought in huge desiccant dehumidifiers, got to work right away, and we did save that floor, which saved them about $100,000 in replacement
Oh,
costs.
yes.
So we're a restoration company. We try to restore instead of replace. So any time that we can save something from damage from being replaced, that's going to save the client time and money. So
Absolutely.
that's our scope. We try to restore instead of replace.
My goodness, I like that. Well, thank you so much, Aaron. This was so revealing. I appreciate it, and I'm sure I'll be giving you more calls. As you mentioned, I'm a seniors real estate specialist, and you never know what's the next listing will bring,
Yeah.
So thanks so much for being with us, and thank you again. We'll see you next time.